Hello and welcome to this Interstage BPM Studio Getting Started video for connecting your studio to the Interstage BPM Cloud. Now, because the cloud is a secure environment, the first thing that we need to do is to prepare your studio environment to be able to connect to the cloud. What that means is we have a one-time step that we need to do for the first time we connect to the cloud that involves allowing the Java that the studio uses to be able to communicate with the cloud. So the first thing we do is we go to the cloud website to www.interstagebpm.com/console default system get about.page. Now I'll leave this up here so you can pause the playback and write this down. But what we need to do is we need to go to this little lock button out here and press that and view the certificates. So when we look at the certificates, we got to click on the Details tab and copy this down. So what we want to do is we want to download the certificate file so we can register it within our Java environment. Again, this is a one-time step for connecting the studio to the cloud. So I'm going to download, follow all the defaults. I'm going to put my certificate file on the C drive. I'm just going to dump it there and finish. Export completed successfully. So now we've got that certificate downloaded. What we need to do next is to register it to the Java that the studio uses. So how do we find out what Java that is? So the way to do that is to look at your studio installation directory. In my case, I installed it in the default C:/Fujitsu Interstage BPM Studio /bin. And in there is a file called ibpmstudio.ini. So what you should do is open that with some kind of text editor and be able to have a look at what Java is being used. So in this case, it's pointing to my C program file Java. So that's the one that I need to look at, and that's the one where I need to register the certificate that we just downloaded. So I'm going to go to that particular folder using a command prompt. So I'm already there, and the thing that I need to do is to import that certificate. So there's a long command that you need to type. I'm going to leave it on here so that you can write it down, but it's a key tool command where you import into a private alias that you specify, called in my private root in this case, into the default key store, which is located there, and then I'm going to import this certificate file. So remember, this is a one-time thing. You just run this particular command, you enter the password. In my case, and the default for Java, the password is change it. So if you just enter change it, and now you'll see it's giving you confirmation about this particular certificate. So you see that it's a certificate from interstagebpm.com. It's registered to Fujitsu America, so you know that this is the right one. You say trust the certificate, so type in yes and let it get added. So that's all you need to do to prepare Java to allow it to communicate with the Interstage BPM Cloud environment. So now we go back to our studio. Now within the studio, what we need to do is we need to allow it to point to the cloud. And to do that, we need to add a server. So if we go to the Window menu, Preferences, and out here there's the server connection settings, and we see, in my case, I've got a few other server connections, but in your environment what you would do is you would press the New button. You can give it a name, so in this case let's call it Cloud BPM, and you're going to get a base URL. So when you register with the Interstage BPM Cloud, you'll be assigned a base URL. So what you need to do, and in my case I've got it already, there's a long URL, but you'll get this URL, enter it here, and then enter your username and the password that will be assigned to you. So I'm going to put in my username and password, and to make it convenient for me, I'm going to allow the studio to save my password, and there it is. So I've just created my Cloud BPM server connection. So now once I OK that, now when I'm ready to upload my application, I built my vacation application earlier on. If I want to upload this to the server, all I've got to do is right click on the application name and say upload application, and then I'm going to pick my Cloud BPM server that I just created. Say next. So it's now gone through. It's going to create a new application in that area called vacations. I'm just going to say finish. So now what it's doing is it's working. We can see the status down the bottom here. It's gone through, it's completed it. So we've actually just deployed our vacation application to the cloud. And that's how easy it is.